Welcome to the basement.
This is a UFC Hall of Famer, Ken Shamrock, and you're listening to the Basement Boys Podcast. Enjoy. God bless.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Basement Boys Podcast. I'm Chris Gray, Eric Mincer, Devin Mitchell. You know what it is.
What it do?
From the beginning. All right, let's jump into it. Eric?
We got a lot to cover, first and foremost.
A lot.
There's a whole lot of football that happened. There's a lot of college football. Groundbreaking NBA blockbuster trade, I guess we call it. And there's a little bit of baseball news. But I think we should start off with a little round of applause to Nick Saban in Alabama winning the national championship. Absolutely shit-pumping Ohio State. Thanks for coming out, Ohio State.
You tried.
So for Saban, that's 7 titles all in total. He's got 6 in 14 years at Bama. Unbelievable run. Devonta Smith had 12 catches for 215 yards and 3 touchdowns
In the first half.
the first half. It was incredible because watching him play, you see other Division I athletes, like 5-star recruits, chasing after him, and it looks like they're in slow motion. It looks like they got like weights on their ankles.
Well, they took a bold game plan of just don't cover him at all and hope for the best. So
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Must have been watching film of the Jets-Raiders game because no defense on that one.
No, I honestly don't get what they were thinking, putting linebackers on him all game.
You know what's wild is that play that Devin just referenced was Henry Ruggs, who was a rookie from Alabama. So he would have been on this team too. Like, that's just how loaded this was. But yeah, the game plan for Ohio State was a little questionable on defense. But also, like, what do? They had, like, Mac Jones won the award for best quarterback. Najee Harris won the award for best running back. Devonta Smith obviously won for best receiver because he was the Heisman. They had the Remington winner for best lineman, and I'm pretty sure they had, like, the best center awards. They had 3 of the top 5 in Heisman voting. That's just, like, one of the best, if not the best college team of all time.
Yeah, like, there's nothing you can really do against a team of that caliber, even though I'm not sure how some of them are going to transfer over to the professional level. Like, I'm not sold on Mac Jones. But,
Because he doesn't have the body of a professional athlete.
well, no, that's not even it. It's just, it's different playing with 3 out of 5 Heisman winners in a college game where half of them, not even half of them, maybe an eighth of them might make it to the league, and the rest, this is going to be like the highlight of their athletic careers. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think
Yo.
we see... Oh, sorry, Dev.
I was going to say, is Mac Jones, did he declare for the draft yet?
I don't know. I mean, it's been less than a week, so probably not yet, but I would say he would go late first round, maybe second round.
Apparently the Patriots are looking at him.
Of course they are.
I could see
Good.
that.
Patriots they need help. They need a quarterback.
He's a pasty white guy. I could see that working.
They do love pasty white guys who like to throw from the pocket.
But going off of your point, I think that's what we're seeing with Tua a little bit, is that he's used to being in Alabama where, like, somebody said there's a difference between NFL Open and Alabama Open. Where with Alabama, the guy has a little bit of separation, and you know he's just that much faster than the defender, and it'll be fine. With the NFL, it's like, no, you're playing against, like you said, pro-level defenders.
But that's the other thing. Like, just college Open is different than NFL Open.
Right.
Receivers can get 2-3 feet off their guy in college because they're not everyone they're playing is this next tier level. But in the NFL, you got to fit it into half an inch sometimes, or it's a pick.
I'm not going to say that's what she said, but
We're all thinking it.
this Alabama team is like, we look at last year, the LSU team of Burrow and Jefferson and Jamar Chase and all of these star players that came out of that LSU team, and this year's Alabama team might even be better. And we're going to look at this draft, and there's going to be at least 7 players from Alabama going in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's just going to be incredible to watch them have a pro career.
Dude, they could literally have 5 go in the top 10. Like,
Yeah.
that's not even like a stretch.
No, not at all. I could see Devonta Smith going to the Dolphins, looks like now, with Tua. I don't know. It's going to be Jalen Waddle, Najee Harris. It's going to be a lot.
But there's also a lot of talk of Miami trading that pick out for Deshaun Watson.
Which we will get to. I'm wearing a Houston Texans shirt in solidarity with Deshaun. I don't know if that even makes sense because he's actually mad at the Texans. I'm just wearing the shirt.
I get you.
We got you.
Let's do a real early, way too early, top 25 college football for next year. I'm going to start it off. At number 1 is Bama. At number 2 is Clemson. Number 3 is Ohio State. And then 4 through 25 doesn't really matter.
It's about right.
I mean, yeah. I'm proud of you for even throwing Ohio State in there.
They beat Clemson. They Fields looked really good.
Yeah, but
He
Fields
played through
is not going to be
broken
there next year.
Yeah, but they're going to
Well, I
have
feel like-
somebody.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like Ohio State always is right up there in the top 4. Like they
Right.
they recruit well. They'll get people, and we'll see these 3 teams in the playoffs again.
Speaking of recruiting, they say that Bama, this coming class in the fall, is the best recruiting class ever. Just highest rating recruiting class ever. So looks like it's going to be Saban for a long time until he just decides he's bored and doesn't want to do it anymore.
I thought that was a given. Like we all knew Saban's going to retire.
Do you
with
think
Bama.
do you think he's going to make the jump back to the NFL at some point?
No.
Because a lot of people are talking about it now that this is all happening.
I don't see why he would. I mean, he's the highest paid coach in college. He's had the most ridiculous success. We're going to look back and he's going to be the greatest coach of all time.
I agree, but at the same time, guys like that, like the ultra competitive, coaching type people, people have a bad taste in their mouth in the NFL saying oh, you couldn't make it work there. Ultra competitive guys like that, they want to shut people up like that.
Right.
Yeah, but he has full control over Bama. Like in the NFL, he's going to have to deal with the GM, crazy ass owners. I feel like he is everything at Bama. So I don't see him giving up any of that power or control.
No, and I 100% get where you're coming from, but I also see a world where, he wants to prove people wrong. It's why Andy Reid came back.
Right, but I don't think Saban would have as much success in the NFL because what Saban's done at Bama with the recruiting.
I'm not saying he'd be successful at it. I'm saying, do you think he takes another stab at it?
Nah, I don't think he does. I think he just loves the college recruiting, the whole feel of like Devin said, being the full control of the Bama program. I think that's just what he's going to do till he literally drops. Like Paul Bear Bryant, after he retired, somebody asked him, what are you going to do next? And he's like, honestly, I'd probably croak in a week. 4 weeks later, he died. Just without football, without being the coach of Alabama, he died. And I think Saban's going down the same path.
That's actually really sad.
Isn't that?
But there's been a couple coaches that's happened to. I think Bruce Bowden from Florida State before
Bobby Bowden.
I'm sorry. But I think same thing happened with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing happened with him. He coached up until they didn't need him anymore. And I think a week or 2 later, that's it.
I also think it's crazy that we live in a world where it's not impossible that after Saban, Dabo Swinney is a Alabama alum, coached under Saban at Alabama. I don't think it's crazy to think that Dabo Swinney would replace Saban at coach of Bama. And for our entire lives, Bama is just the best college football team.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
It's definitely not impossible. But I'm still dying on the hill that I think if this image and likeness thing opens up, it's going to open up more teams just because of location of where you can make the money. But we got into all that next week, or last week, whatever. Words.
Yeah. That pretty much is our take on the college football championship. Let's move into some calls regarding the NBA.
Big news from last night. Everyone was freaking out when we found out. James Harden finally got dealt exactly to where he wanted to get dealt. And I'm not so sure it's a good thing.
Well, the Nets gave up all of their future. Basically, I think 4 first-round picks and 3 swaps. I don't
4
know how
swaps.
4 swaps. So I don't know exactly how that works if they're giving up picks and swaps, but they gave up pretty much. I mean, they gave up Levert, who's a great young player. Jarrett Allen's with Cleveland, which doesn't make sense because Cleveland already has 3 centers, and they mortgaged their future for James Harden. I just want to say real quick before we get to our calls about James Harden has just proven to everybody that if you carry on like a baby and party with strippers and eat nothing but pizza and Chinese food, you will get what you want. So thank you, James Harden. You are an inspiration.
And I'm all about it.
I'm cool. Hey, I'm cool with it, man.
Listen, I like pizza and Chinese food too, so fuck it.
And we've already gone over the fact that Devin's a big Magic City guy, so you know he loves the strippers.
Dev, you gotta let us know if at Magic City they're flying Harden's Rocket jersey at half mast.
As soon as I get the update, I'll let you guys know.
You know, somewhere in the city right now, every stripper is just like, fucking yeah. So shout out Brooklyn strippers.
Well, I don't even know if they'll be able to if he'll be able to partake in strip clubs because pretty sure New York's still under lockdown.
Yeah, okay, like that's stopping James Harden from getting to the strippers.
James Harden will find strippers where there are strippers. He will go to them, all right?
Dude, James Harden and Dwayne Haskins are calling all strippers right now, so
he will literally play a game in Brooklyn, fly back to Houston just to go to the strip clubs, and then just come back.
Why not? He's like Dennis Rodman. Not yet.
Not yet. So does that mean Lou Williams is going to be on the same flight back too?
Well, Lou Williams just ordered wings.
Yeah, Lou Williams lives there now. They just have a cot for him in the back of Magic City. You get your own wings, you get your own bed in the back. It is what it is. It's just the rules.
I can't lie. Like, I really want those wings. I just got to see what this is about.
Like, I'm very much not a strip club guy. I find the whole just situation awkward. But I just want to go to try the lemon pepper wings just because, like, it's a thing now. I got to know.
Dude, I'm allergic to garlic and I want them.
Dude, they're known for lemon pepper wings. We got to try them.
Yeah, and they almost exploded the bubble over these wings.
All right, so let's get into some of the calls before we go completely off the rails here.
That's all we do is go off the rails. What are you talking about?
I'm pretty sure we're not even on the rails.
First things first, I want to shout out the Basement Boys, one of the best podcasts out here. My name is Phil, man. I'm from Harlem. I want to say, man, I'm happy that Brooklyn got James Harden, man. We're going to the finals. New York going to do something, and I'm happy, man. Even though I'm a diehard Knicks fan, the Nets got it right now, and I like it. But the only downfall they have is where they defense.
Thank you, Phil.
And I think that's, like, obviously the glaring hole. Wherever Mike D'Antoni goes, no defense will ever be played. He is allergic to it, and to keep him alive, they are not allowed to play it.
You got Mike D'Antoni, Steve Nash, and Amari Stoudemire at the coaching staff, so there's zero defense to begin with. Jarrett Allen was actually a good defensive player. He gone. James Harden. I mean, statistically, James Harden is always top 3 in steals, but he's looking out of shape, and I don't know if he's going to play any defense.
Yeah, but that's the only thing he does on defense is try to steal the ball. Like,
yeah.
Other than that, he puts no effort into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, he gets caught reaching a lot.
Yeah. No, but KD does play defense. KD's good at defense, and he seems like someone who prides himself in that part of the game. You know what I mean? But other than that, I have no idea where they get any other defense from.
Yeah, and I agree with Phil because, like, I'm also a diehard Knicks fan, but I'm excited to see one of the teams in New York be relevant. Like, the Knicks got off to a hot start. They've now lost 4 in a row. The injuries are already mounting. Julius Randle played like a all-star, and that, I don't know how long that's going to last, so it's fun to see, you know, a local team just rise to an elite level. But I think this all leads to questions about Kyrie Irving.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into that. Kyrie has been missing in actions, hasn't played the last 4 games. Less than ideal communication with Steve Nash and the rest of the coaching staff. They simply just didn't know where he was. This video came out that he was allegedly at a bar for a joint birthday of his dad and his sister who have the same birthday. So happy birthday, Mr. Irving and Kyrie's sister, whose name we do not know currently.
Happy birthday to the Irvings.
Well, what's going on there?
I mean, listen, Harden, whined and cried and forced his way out of Houston. I think Kyrie just might be like, you know what? I'm good right now. He's got a ring from Cleveland. He's made a couple mil. And he's just like, fuck it, I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I feel like doing. And if I don't feel like playing basketball, I'm done.
Do you think he retires?
Yeah, I think he's going to retire.
Really?
Yeah, because I personally don't see him and Harden on the same team getting along. They both need the ball. They both want to score. And it's like, how are you going to manufacture touches for both of them? Especially when you're running. Sorry?
I was going to say with Kevin Durant also needing touches.
Right. Especially if they're running like the quote unquote 7 seconds or less offense that they ran back in Phoenix when Nash was playing and then Tony was the coach. It's going to be, there's not enough touches for them to go around. Harden likes to slow pace game, slow it down. He likes to run these ISO plays and chuck the three. Kyrie's going to do the same thing. KD's going to need looks.
And that's the thing. KD likes to play the fast break style ball.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even like these are conducive to each other.
Right.
Right, but I mean, they're all just so good offensively that this system, like, you can come up with a system to make the three of them work.
I don't know about that because I think it's kind of like what we were talking about with Cleveland, like the Cleveland Browns and Odell Beckham, because he wanted the ball so much, they were trying to force it to him. I think all of them want the ball so much, someone's gonna get angry, someone's gonna be pissed off, and I think taking James Harden and throwing him into the most volatile situation in basketball right now, like, I don't know if this is such a good idea.
Well, there's also the chance that it was only volatile. I mean, I don't know. I have any reports to confirm this. This is tinfoil conspiracy, Eric, tinfoil hat again. There's a chance that Kyrie is doing all of this to make them want to make the Nets land Harden without giving up Kyrie, because right now nobody wants Kyrie. So maybe they were both sabotaging themselves to make this all work out. I'm not saying that's the case.
I could definitely see both of them doing
But
that.
they're
Don't get me
dots
wrong.
right there.
But yeah, like there's it's too much ego. It's too much. It's not even so much too much ego because every professional sports athlete has somewhat of an ego. You kind of need to get to that level.
Right.
But it's the wrong type of ego to work with each other, in my opinion. I feel like everyone wants to be the star. Maybe not KD, because KD has shown he can work with other stars, working with Steph and Clay, and but Kyrie and Harden, I do not see that working out.
And the crazy thing too is that when Kyrie was in Cleveland, he left because he didn't want to be the Robin to LeBron's Batman.
But
and
see, that's the thing. I still think even with KD and now with James Harden, I still think KD thinks he's the number one. I mean, not KD, Kyrie.
Now, Kyrie's the Alfred, and KD and Harden are Batman and Robin. I think Kyrie's on the outside looking in.
I'm saying this is what Kyrie thinks. I think Kyrie thinks they're going to get James Harden over here, and Kyrie's still going to be the guy touching. Like, obviously, he's the point guard, so he is going to be touching the ball every play. But
Harden plays point guard too. Like, Harden brings the ball. I mean, with Houston at least,
yeah.
He was the guy bringing the ball up, running the plays.
Right.
So the question becomes: final seconds, tie game, need a shot. Who takes it?
Joe Harris.
What's crazy is he's going to be open.
Yeah.
Well,
that's why I would go to that. Like,
you're spot on.
I mean, we all know everyone's focusing on KD and Kyrie and James Harden. Joe Harris will be chilling in a corner and be like, yo, give me the ball. I got this. And then he'll make a three to get Nets win the game, and everyone's going to be like, who the fuck is that guy?
Dude shoots 47% from threes, and now he's going to be the least guarded on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. It's not even going to be close. I do not see this. I see this situation imploding before the end of the year.
See, but the only thing is, I see what you're saying, but I think with Harden, it's that he really just wanted out of Houston.
Right.
I think once he gets to Brooklyn, obviously he's going to take a little bit of time to get in shape and to sync up with the offense and stuff. I think Harden has his mindset of like, I want a championship, and I think Harden would be much more willing to adapt to say, if they want to run it through KD, I think Harden would be much more okay with that than we think. It's just being in Houston. Houston was, anything James wants, James gets. So nobody was really there to say no to him, and I don't think that they're going to necessarily say no to him, but I think Durant can say, look, right now you don't have it, I do. Right now you're not making the shots, Joe Harris is. And I think just the way the team's set up, I don't think Harden's going to come in and demand to have the ball. I mean, he still will have the ball in his hands, but I think he's going to be more of a team player than we're giving him credit for.
See,
I'm just being optimistic. I could be wrong.
I disagree, and not even that he has the mindset of wanting to be a team player, but I think once he gets into it, you're going to find out that's not who he is. Like, look at all the special things they had to do to keep James Harden in Houston for as long as they did. Let him fly out. Let him do all these things. Like you said on a few episodes ago, like, oh, Russ, you're not doing great, blah, 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 blah. But James, nice beard.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Steve Nash and KD, and if Kyrie does come back, they're not going to baby him. They're not going to play those kid gloves.
They're letting Kyrie just take a sabbatical.
Yeah.
So they're kind of letting them do what they want anyways.
I get what you're saying, but I don't think they're going to baby him to the fact of, like, if he's trying to do his iso ball thing, not spreading the ball around, getting 50 points, but losing the game. I don't think they're going to be like, you know what, James? Still nice beard. I think they're going to be like, James, get your shit together and pass the ball. And I don't know how James is going to handle that. He does not seem like the type of guy who takes criticism well.
I was going to say, you also got to remember, though, that Mike D'Antoni was Harden's coach in Houston when Harden was getting away with everything. Even though D'Antoni's the assistant coach, do you think Harden's going to be like, all right, let me listen now, when those last couple of years I was flying around doing whatever the fuck I wanted to, and you didn't stop me?
That's what I'm saying.
Very good point. D'Antoni does run a pick and roll offense, though, so I think the pick and roll between Harden and Durant is going to be incredible to watch. If Kyrie gets in there, that too. But
no, am I saying, like, look, there's not going to be no, like, magical plays that happen from this thing. Like, obviously, they're all extremely, extremely, at least KD and Harden, I'd say top 5 talents. Kyrie, maybe top 15, top 20. But
I'd say Kyrie's top 10 when he wants to play.
How
far do we think this team goes in terms of playoff runs? Because people are already saying they're going to make it to the finals.
Again, I think it depends on how well they work out. I 100% expect this situation to implode before the end of the year. I just think it's too much ego. I think it's guys that are not built, at least from what we've seen. And hey, maybe they can make it work. Maybe I'm full of shit, whatever. But personally, just from the way I've seen Kyrie go after LeBron set him up. You know what I mean? The way I've seen, like, Harden and Russ go after each other, the way I've seen, like, all these different things, like, you know what I mean? Like, just because you put 2-star players or 3-star players together doesn't mean the chemistry works. That's why I thought Golden State was so great, because Clay and Steph are obviously Clay and Steph, but they were able to work in with KD, and KD was able to work in with them to maximize that potential, and that's why they went on the run they did.
Right. That's true, and Durant, like you said, has shown that he's willing to do that. I think, like you said, Harden and Westbrook got into it, but you see that with anybody Westbrook plays with. When it was Westbrook and Durant, when it was Westbrook and Paul George, Westbrook and even Melo for that part of the season or half a season. So I think that's a little bit more on Westbrook. I have seen people tweet that they should trade Kyrie for Westbrook and just have the OKC team run it back. I think that'd be hilarious. But I think this team has, obviously on paper, they have the talent to win the East. I still think it's going to be the Boston Celtics. I think Brad Stevens is the best coach in the East. I think it's going to be Celtics-Lakers. Should we get to some of the calls real quick?
Let's do it.
All right, so this is actually the second half of a call. We're going to play the first half. We're just doing it out of order because this fits the topic.
Well, I got to get to Kyrie Irving real quick. Hey, man, what the fuck is your problem, man? Everywhere you go, you got a problem. I just don't know what you want to do. You want to retire? Retire. You want to go party with your sister and your dad? Go ahead. If you don't want to play ball no more, just let people know. Let the Nets know so they can trade your ass. That's about it. It's just always something with you every season. When's enough, man? Hey, until next week, just go Matt. I'll be back.
Kiss go Matt, what's good?
Yo, that was my favorite call. Just fucking say it with your chest, Matt. I love it.
Don't worry, we got more from Matt.
Yo, Matt was angry this week. He just wanted to get some shit off his chest. He got it.
Yeah, but he's spot on.
And that's what the basement is for, that, if you're angry, call in, get off your chest, and feel better.
Let it all out. But I think he's 100% right. Kyrie wasn't happy in Cleveland, didn't want to be second banana to LeBron. He worked his way to Boston, got to Boston. They got Hayward, they got Horford, still wasn't happy. Now he's in Brooklyn with KD. He missed most of last year with an injury, and this year he's healthy, and he still isn't happy. So I don't know what it's going to take to get this guy happy to where he's going to play his best ball.
Yeah, I really... And see, that's the thing. Everyone's coming out being like, yo, he doesn't owe you an explanation. And I agree. He's a grown-ass man. He can do what he wants. He doesn't owe me an explanation. He owes the Nets an explanation, though. He needs to, either figure this out and say, hey, I'm playing, or hey, I'm not. I get it. You're trying to run off with the extra $20 million that they'll pay you, even if you don't play. But, that's such a scumbag move.
Yeah, it's just a bad teammate to not let your coach know, not let your team know. I mean, I just don't see this situation. Like you said, the team implodes. I think Kyrie is going to be the weak link. I think Harden and KD like each other and they'll get along well. I think KD is pissed at Kyrie right now. Definitely going to be one of those drama storylines to pay attention to. We'll be hearing about all year.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you said it best that listen, he's not he's over here acting kind of like Dennis Rodman when he's just flying off, but at least Dennis, he let the Bulls know that hey, I'm going to Vegas. I'll be back in 48 hours. Kyrie's just I'm not playing tonight. See you later. And they're like, wait, whoa. What do you mean tonight? What about tomorrow? I'll get back to you. And then you don't hear from him for 3 games, 4 games.
Right.
And look, I get it. He said part of it's a mental health thing. That's come out that part of it's related to social justice and all that. And that's fine. If you want to do that, but just let your team know. That's where I have the problem. It's fuck me. I don't care. You don't owe me any type of explanation. You're going to do what you want to do. But you owe Steve Nash an explanation. You owe the Nets organization an explanation. You owe KD. You now owe Harden. You owe these people an explanation or a time frame or something. You can't just keep leaving them in the dark.
Hey, Kyrie, if you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Music, or watching a YouTube video, call us, dude. Let us know what's going on. We're concerned.
We want to know.
We just want the best for you, man.
I've already gotten 2 people fired with my rants, all right?
That's true. You don't want him going off like he did with Dwayne Haskins or Doug Peterson, who we will get to. But I do actually, before we move on, I want to talk about the other teams in this trade. Houston Rockets landed Karis LeVert, who they flipped into Oladipo, so they got an all-star.
Yeah, that's big.
And they have 8 draft picks. So they're looking...
And they still have John Wall this year, who a lot of people say is they're really looking for him to bounce back this year.
He's played well so far.
DeMarcus Cousins, when he's been playing healthy, he's been solid. Not what we have come to expect from Boogie Cousins in years prior, but he's been doing his thing.
And Christian Woods emerged from being a good player to being a really good player. And
then you throw Victor Oladipo on top of that.
And they have a lot of draft capital, so I think this is going to be one of those years where maybe they don't make the playoffs this year, but they see what they have. They can decide, they have Wood locked up for 4 years, but they could say, hey, Boogie played well enough, let's bring him back. John Wall played well enough, let's bring him back. See how Oladipo fits in the system, and then they have all these draft picks.
Right.
Also, you have Cleveland landed Jarrett Allen and Torian Prince. So they now have Jarrett Allen, Andre Drummond, Kevin Love, and Larry Nance. 4 centers.
Yep. Someone's getting dealt.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a lot. That team's starting to age a little bit, though.
That seems terrible.
I mean, yeah, but I'm saying like some of those names could get cut, is what I'm saying, just because they're getting older. Like
I could see
they have nothing to play for this year.
I could see Love getting dealt.
Yeah,
Same. I could see Drummond getting dealt too.
I would lean more towards Love, but I could definitely see Drummond getting dealt.
Yeah, if you're Cleveland, enjoy the Browns because the Cavs are not it. The Indians made a move that we're going to talk about that I'm very happy about. The last team in that trade, though, the Indiana Pacers landed Karis LeVert. I got a lot of heat on Twitter because I tweeted out that Karis LeVert is better than Ben Simmons. I honestly believe that. If I had to choose one, I would take Karis LeVert. I love Ben Simmons. I think he's a great player, but I'd rather have a shooter every time.
Yeah, he's so one-dimensional.
When you have now
He's very good in that one dimension, but he's one-dimensional.
You got Malcolm Brogdon, Karis LeVert, Domantas Sabonis.
Something like that.
I know you said the last name right. The first name, I'm not sure.
Miles Turner at center. Pacers are pretty good, man. I would keep an eye out for the Pacers because they're the team in the East that no one's talking about. They can make a little bit of dent, a little bit of noise. I don't think they have the talent to keep up with the Nets, and I don't think they're going to be able to beat the Bucks, but who knows?
Hey, don't be sleeping on this sick colorway over here, right?
Yeah, we got the Heat.
My boy Jimmy B is gonna do something.
We got the Heatles. One of the other big stories that happened, we alluded to it earlier, Cleveland. We got the Browns in the playoffs, hold on to that. The Cavs are terrible. And the Cleveland, formerly known as Indians, soon to be known as something else maybe, have traded Francisco Lindor to my New York Mets. We acquired Lindor, who's going to be our generational smiley shortstop, and Carrasco, who is a little bit later in his career, but he's going to be our 4th starter, which is fucking dope because we have DeGrom, Stroman, Syndergaard, Carrasco, and then number 5 can be whoever the fuck we want because we're so damn good.
Yeah.
Met fan, Uncle Richie has a call for us.
Hi, it's Uncle Richie, and I just wanted to talk about the Mets. The other day, I saw a headline that said the Mets get Lindor. And I'm thinking it's the Mets, so they probably mean Lindor chocolate. You know, the Swiss chocolate, the one that comes in the little red or blue or yellow wrapping paper, you know, that foil. It's really good chocolate. But I figured that's what the Mets came up with. Then I find out that it's Francisco Lindor, and they got Carrasco as well. Awesome trade. Lindor is the best acquisition since Piazza, and we owe it all to having a new owner, Steve Cohen. Steve Cohen is the man. I don't care if you're not a Mets fan, you have to acknowledge right now in sports that Steve Cohen is the man, and that Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, is not the man. So if anyone comes up to you and says, hey, who's the man? You say, it's Steve Cohen. If anyone comes up to you and says, who's not the man? It's Woody Johnson. Okay, so we've got that straight now. The man has taken over for the New York Mets, and I am excited about it, and we're going to have a great year. This is Uncle Richie, signing off.
Let's go, Matt.
Dude, I swear this guy has to have a team of writers, because he fucking sends us gold every week.
Is the team of writers.
I mean, he's not wrong. Like, you see what having a new owner that's willing to spend money and make moves does for your team and a fan base. I don't think I've seen Mets fans this happy in a long-ass time.
One of my closest friends who's a diehard Mets fan, we actually grew up together as diehard Mets fans, he texted me, he goes, is this what it feels like to be a Yankees fan?
Yeah.
Is it like?
Yeah.
I mean,
At least in the early 2000s. Not so much anymore.
dude, I mean, didn't you get Garrett Cole last year?
Yep.
Yeah, but that was the first time we spent money in 5 years before that.
Dude, this is the first time we've spent money.
That's a fair point. I mean,
This is such a cool feeling because, last year we had a good lineup. We had a lot of injuries and a lot of opt-outs. This year, dude, Lindor is going to be like Jose Reyes was, that guy that's just the spirit. He's a career 280 hitter, hits 25, 30 home runs, steals 30 bases, plays great defense. We already have Alonso, Conforto, McNeil, Dom Smith had a year, Carrasco. going to be the fourth starter. We got Trevor May to shore up the bullpen. Like, I said it a couple weeks ago jokingly, but I'm like legitimately excited that the Mets can do some damage.
Yeah. I mean, it's the first year this team's together, so that usually makes me temper expectations. But I think if they can keep this team together, and Syndergaard can stay healthy, and like you have a couple guys who are a little injury prone, as long as you can stay healthy, I think in the next 3-4 years, you're gonna be a very big problem.
That's a franchise where injury prone. That's just been a thing. But like, this is the most excited I've been for the Mets in a long time.
Oh no, yeah, you definitely should be. This is the biggest thing that's happened to the Mets since the Subway Series. Like,
yeah, since they got Piazza, like Uncle Richie said.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just nice to have an owner who knows when to get involved and knows how to not get involved when they need to be. And like you said, Woody Johnson needs to fucking learn something.
Not the man.
Not the man.
Not the man at all.
Taking notes at home.
Hey, Eric, who's the man?
Steve Cohen.
Who's not the man?
Woody Johnson.
There we go.
I passed.
We learned some stuff today from Uncle Richie.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk more baseball as it happens. It's just that was like the big blockbuster trade. I don't think there's really been much else going on. A little names here and there. If you're a Yankees fan, which I know you guys are, DJ LeMahieu is reaching out to other teams. You might be a little nervous there, but again, it's only January. There's a lot of time.
Dude, seriously, like, what's the fucking point? I get it. You didn't make as much money this year. That sucks. But you're going to mortgage the next 2-3 years when he could be a superstar because one season you had down profits?
LeMahieu?
No, I'm talking about the Yankees.
The
The Yankees are willing to mortgage their next 2-3 years of DJ LeMahieu being a superstar because their profits are down and they don't want to spend the money. Just spend the money. The guy's proven that he's been the most integral part of this team for the past 2 years.
They also took on the very ambitious contract with Garrett Cole, and then the pandemic happened, which, like, again, unforeseen. So I kind of get it in that sense, but
no, like
you're right. It's not.
I understand what you're saying, but we're gonna get back to that.
You're right. You're right. It's not like the Yankees have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I agree with Chris. Like, the Yankees just need to, like, open up the checkbooks, pay LeMahieu. You saw what he did last year and the year before that. Because I think they had him for the last 2 seasons, right?
Yep.
So, like, dude's a utility guy. You plug and play him wherever you need to. You know, someone gets hurt. Hey, DJ, go play this position. All right, cool. Man was hitting lights out. I think he was, like, near the top of the AL and, like, batting average, right?
He led the league.
Yeah. So, like, they need to, like, sign him up, shore it up, and keep it moving. Enough of this slow playing because it's going to bite them in the ass.
Dude, he's literally the most integral part to that team for the last 2 years. He's played better than Judge. He's been playing better than Stanton, who they paid all that money.
He's been on the field more than those guys.
Yeah.
He's also healthy. He stays healthy.
So, yeah.
But all the guys who are supposed to be your stars, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Gary Sanchez.
Severino's been hurt. I know he's a pitcher, but
you haven't seen him for 2 years.
Yeah. Or I don't know. Do you think the Yankees go all in and try to bring in? I don't even know who else is out there that they could go for.
I think they just need to fucking.
I mean, obviously
sack
going
up
for
and
power.
sign fucking LeMahieu.
Yeah.
In terms of pitching, yeah, but also we're talking like everyone's like the more and more I think about it, and the more and more I listen to different analysts talk. We're all talking about Bauer off of one Cy Young season. And it was a great season, but it was a 60-game season. He hasn't been this lights-out showstopper his whole career.
Yeah, he has. He's been really dominant with Cleveland.
He's been good, but he last season was his first major year.
Right, but I think he's one of those guys that, like, has the stuff. Like, he's going to be that good wherever he goes. And he's the guy that, like, he's not letting anybody know where he's going. He's not putting out any smoke signals for where his next move is going to be. Like George Springer, they're saying it's between the Mets and the Blue Jays, which is just weird because like I don't think like the Blue Jays desperately need pitching and they have good hitting, so they don't need him. But there's no indication any direction from Bauer.
Right.
All right. Well, we'll cover baseball more in depth as it gets closer to baseball.
Yeah, that was the only real big signing that's been going on.
Dev, anything to add to baseball?
No, that's it. I'm still in my off-season mode, but
I also
gonna have to start my off-season workout, get ready for spring training.
I also just need the Yankees to do something. Like you can't just like re-sign up last year and be like, okay, I guess this is what we're gonna do again, except without DJ LeMahieu because we're fucking morons.
I actually think the Yankees could do that because if they have a full season of Judge and Stanton and Duhar and Gary Sanchez doesn't suck ass.
But that's a huge if, and Duhar really hasn't been playing that much.
Yeah, because you had too many good players.
Yeah, but
you had a.
I know, but his defense is just such a liability.
Yeah, that's
he
true.
hits well, but
he doesn't know how to field. Neither does Clint Frazier, but Clint Frazier was awesome last year batting.
Right, but I'd be more willing to trust Clint than I would Andujar at this point.
I wouldn't be surprised if
I think they should, but that's what I'm saying. I think they need to make some sort of move, do something, and not just twiddle their thumbs.
He's got a lot of value, especially if there's a universal DH, which I don't think the MLB has decided if they're going to do or not do.
But they do. I mean, I think everyone liked it in the bubble.
Yeah.
Or not the bubble, the 60-game season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, just Yankees, get your shit together. So let's keep it moving. We'll get into the fucking now even larger carousel of coaches in the NFL.
We're going to start with the coaching carousel and then dive into all the playoffs. We'll answer all of your wonderful questions. We got on a call. This is Matt again, sounding off.
This is Matt. Matt from Mount Kisco. Call me Kisco Matt. A few things I just want to get off my chest. A couple of topics. First and foremost, I'm a big-time Eagles fan. Just fired our head coach Doug Peterson a couple days ago. And I'm 50-50 on it. 50-50 on, was it the right decision? 3 playoff appearances in 5 years, 1 Super Bowl. Hey, I guess he lost the locker room. I guess it was time to go in another direction. But I hope the owner, Jeffrey Lurie, and Howie Roseman know what they're doing. Speaking of Howie Roseman, he needs to get the fuck out of here. He's a terrible GM. He's a numbers guy. Does not draft well. Cannot evaluate talent. He needs to go. We need to hire someone like Louis Riddick because we can't be passing up on guys like DK Metcalf, AJ Brown, in every draft. It just can't happen anymore. We're already freaking one of the oldest age rosters in the league, and we need to get younger quick. And if you mess up on the 6th pick in the 2021 draft, I might come to Philly and beat your ass myself. That's how sick and tired I am of you.
Yeah, so Matt definitely feels some type of way about the Eagles situation.
For those keeping count at home, our listeners who heard last week's episode, we now have Uncle Richie and Kisco Matt on the lookout in Philadelphia. We're putting out a bolo for both of them who want to go to Philly and kick some ass.
Road trip.
Well, at least Matt, his is directed at one singular person, where Uncle Richie said anyone in Philly can get it.
Yeah, I just think the two of them are going down for some insurrection.
Oh, man.
Sorry. Doug Peterson got the axe. There's now 7 head coaching vacancies in the NFL, although it looks like the Jaguars are very close to landing Urban Meyer, which is interesting.
Ohio State 2.2. 2.0.
2.2.
Wow.
I fucked up on numbers are hard, y'all.
So Doug Peterson did lead the Eagles to 3 playoff appearances. He won them the Super Bowl. Was it the right decision?
I mean, yeah, like, with all the reports coming out, like, I understand a lot of them have been walked back, but from what you hear, he's completely lost the locker room. And you can't have, like Matt said, they do need to get younger, and they need to start bringing in some younger talent because they are the oldest roster in the league. But you still do need a couple of those old guys to kind of help craft the culture and lead the young guys through it all. And if the young guys don't believe in their if the old guys don't believe in their head coach, the young guys are not going to come in and all of a sudden be like, you know what? All these old guys have been doing it for years and years and years, and know exactly what's going on and have been through this type of shit before. None of them believe in this guy, but you know what? I'm gonna. That's not how it's gonna work.
No, absolutely right.
So I definitely think it was the right decision to get rid of him, at least for the Eagles. But like he said, 3 playoff appearances, Super Bowl, did it all in 5 years. That being said, Doug Peterson, I know you and Joe Douglas are friends. Stay the fuck away from the New York Jets, all right?
That was the nightmare I had. It's going to happen.
Well,
Nope.
original nightmare was
Nope.
that like the Jets were going to trade for him before he got fired.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
No, now they're talking to him. I mean, it could just be a Gase-Peterson swap, which would be probably terrible for both teams.
Very terrible.
Let's be honest. Even the Eagles, as fucking dumb as decisions that they've been making, are not going to hire Adam Gase.
Well, that's the thing that Matt said that I strongly agree with, is that they need to revamp their front office, because they took Jalen Reagor last year in the first round as a wide receiver, and you look at the receivers in that class like Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, Claypool, CeeDee Lamb, and obviously Justin Jefferson. Like, you had 5 stars come out of this draft. You even had Brandon Ayuk, who looks great over in San Fran. You ended up with one of the weakest receivers from that class.
100%.
That's a big swing and a miss. The year before, Metcalf, A.J. Brown, you had these star players, and they ended up with J.J. Arcega-Whiteside.
And see, that's the thing. They were drafting pretty well the first couple of years while they had Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas moves on. They can't get their shit together.
Yeah, something's got to change there, and I guess Peterson did lose the locker room. We don't know. There's been reports now that like it was Peterson's decision to bench Wentz. It also came down that it was Laurie's decision and that Peterson had no say in it, and that's why Peterson was not happy and wanted out, because he wants to make the calls. However you want to look at it, there was just too much dysfunction between the front office, the coach, and the quarterback for that to work. Like, those 3 things need to be linear. Like what we saw with the Patriots for so many years was Robert Kraft at the top, Belichick at the coach, and Brady. All 3 of them had the same vision, the same mindset. Everything was just, it was like clockwork. And if you can't get that going with your coaching staff, your ownership, and your quarterback, you're going to have a mess.
Yeah, the only thing it can do is lead to problems. But, yeah, definitely the right decision. Definitely, after losing him, especially with not really knowing what Carson Wentz is at the moment, Carson Wentz might be still wanting out. You don't know if it was. He obviously said his relationship with Doug Peterson was irreconcilable, but he might have moved on to be like, you know what, I'm just done with the Eagles altogether. We haven't really heard from him since the firing. But it's rebuild time.
Yeah.
Like, you have, like, there's no reason or even way possible for them to try to be like, you know what, we're going to try to keep the pieces we have now and keep it moving forward. It's just not going to happen. It's rebuild time. And if it's going to be rebuild time, you got rid of the coach. You might be getting rid of your quote unquote franchise quarterback. Just wipe it all clean, start from scratch, and build your way back up.
And Dev, that's got to be music to your ears as a Giants fan, knowing that the Eagles are imploding.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's great. One less team to worry about, so to say. But as a Giants fan, we still have to worry about, Cowboys and Chase Young over there with the Washington football team, and him potentially destroying Daniel Jones.
Oh yeah, we'll get into them in a minute. Who do we think's gonna take over, be the next coach of the Philadelphia Eagles?
Well, they've interviewed Kellen Moore.
That's what I was thinking of, yeah.
Yeah,
But it's weird, though, because Moore just signed like a 3-year deal to stay on as the OC.
I don't think they've interviewed him yet. I think they requested an interview.
all right, and he's the head offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
Why would he want to leave that? Next year you get a healthy Dak, you get CeeDee Lamb, you get Amari Cooper, potentially healthy
Head coaching
Ezekiel.
job.
But he turned down a head coaching job at his alma mater
But that's
at Boise State.
Yeah, but that's college. This is an NFL head coaching job.
I would rather be an offensive coordinator for the Cowboys than the head coach of Boise State.
Yeah, 100%.
It's kind of funny. What's up?
I think NFL head coaching jobs are so hard to come by. I think it's got to be an enticing offer for the guy.
I was going to say, it's
Whether-
funny, though, that, like, I think the Eagles are the only team that's requested an interview with him. None of the other coachless teams have, like, requested an interview.
Well, I think where, like, you've been talking about Bieniemy all year, Bieniemy was ready to kind of take that next step. Like, that was kind of in his plans going forward. I don't think that was in Kellen Moore's plans, but if an opportunity presents itself, why not take it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when opportunity knocks, you open the door.
Answer that, bitch.
Be interesting to see where the head coaches go. Bieniemy, I mean, you have Salah interviewing. It seems like the Lions are pretty dead set on him. Urban Meyer,
But so are the Jets.
Urban Meyer, as we said, is very close to signing with the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's rumors that like he wants to take his guy Justin Fields, but I don't see how you could pass up Trevor Lawrence, especially knowing that you're gonna have James Robinson, you're gonna have Chenault, you're gonna have DJ Chark, and they have a lot. The Jaguars have like $80 million in cap space, the most in the league, so they could make some noise.
Yeah, for sure. Looking back on it now, I definitely think it's a lot more of it's a better situation to take over as the new head coach than I had originally given it credit for. But I don't know. I don't know how I trust Urban Meyer coming back.
Well, you know what's gonna happen is like the Jags are gonna go like 6-10, and then Urban Meyer's gonna have another health issue and have to retire again, and then end up at like USC.
Oh yeah.
It'll
Just-
be,
Just the same cycle of him not being able to make it to the NFL, going back to college, doing his thing.
And then there's going to be random, this happened that we didn't know about. Oh, then this happened. He can't get in trouble for recruiting violations, but there's going to be weird stuff happening.
Let's jump in to Super Wildcard Weekend. Just crazy games. A lot of these games ended up a lot different than we originally thought. Starting off with the Bills-Colts game. That one did go how we thought. Colts are just a machine right now. Josh Allen balled out.
You said the Colts.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
Yeah.
Bills did their fucking thing. Josh Allen balled out. Stephon Diggs is a monster. And I'm almost convinced I'm going through a table at this point.
My only thing was it was 27-24. The Colts had the ball at the end. I think it was a little too close for comfort if I'm a Bills fan. That being said, like Bills Mafia, again, like congrats. You guys got 6,700 in the building, making noise. Hey, the team's looking good.
Josh Allen looked like an absolute killer.
Josh Allen is
And-
trying to get some respect on his name.
Yeah, for real. Like, making fun of Josh Allen was fun while it lasted, but we
Not
can't
anymore.
do that no more.
Nope.
Josh Allen, future MVP.
Probably at some point.
Yeah.
The way he's playing,
see
especially
it.
the way he looked at that Colts game, if he can sustain that for a full season, I think you're talking MVP caliber. Especially with a weapon like the Stephon Diggs now. They're putting all the white weapons around him to help him progress every year. If they can keep going along with that trend, Josh Allen's going to be something special.
Yeah. I think he's absolutely proven that he has all of the skill set.
100%. He can throw in the pocket. He can get outside the pocket, make some things happen. Anything you kind of need the guy to do, he can do.
And he's not afraid to scramble and try to truck somebody while he's going out of bounds.
And he's not afraid to take the team on his back when he needs to.
No. He's a leader, and the Bills are looking really good.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we said in the draft. He was always the safest option. In that draft, out of all of them, everyone said, if you want a guy to be a starting quarterback right away, make the kind of strides he's making, maybe no one was thinking to the levels he's made this year, but out of all the quarterbacks in that draft, he was always the safest option. And then they made the right moves to put the right people around him, and he's just broken out into a superstar.
I agree. That's like we keep saying with the Jets, you build around your quarterback. something good happens. The Jets do not want to build around Sam Darnold. Nothing good's happened. But we're not talking about the Jets because we're talking about the playoffs. The Jets and the playoffs don't happen very much.
Yeah, they're not exactly friends.
All right, so should we just keep
They're
going?
practicing social distancing.
Yeah, for like
Do you
12
think
years.
Do you think Phil Rivers hangs it up, or do you think he comes back?
I think Phil Rivers comes back, but I don't think he comes back with the Colts.
Who do you think he comes back with?
This is going to sound weird, kind of dirty. Phil Rivers next year is going to be the quarterback of the New England Patriots.
Really?
Wow.
I think Bill Belichick says, you know what, we'll take a year on our pasty white boy quarterback, see if he has an arm. Even if he doesn't, he's going to be a step up from Cam Newton, who literally could not throw the ball. I think the Colts are going to go young. I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts took a quarterback in the first round of the draft.
Isn't Rivers still under contract for like one more year?
I think he signed a 1-year deal, didn't he?
Don't have it.
I don't know the details on his contract, but Bill Belichick definitely said, "Old white guy who can't move, sign me up. I can win with that."
No,
Yeah.
it was a 1-year deal with the Colts.
Oh, okay. My mistake.
Yeah, I think that's why he was just like, "Yeah, I'm not even trying to move my family. I'll live out of a suitcase for this season, and then we'll get back to it."
And I think he's going to do that in New England next year. And New England's going to use their first-round pick on a playmaker, maybe a receiver, maybe, I imagine if Kyle Pitts is available, they'll take him at tight end. But I just think Belichick, with what Rivers offers, I think that could work. And I think the Colts are going to take a quarterback or look elsewhere in the quarterback carousel. I still believe Carson Wentz is going to be their quarterback next year. Frank Reich seems to like him, but I guess we'll see.
I wouldn't mind seeing more of Jacoby Brissett either.
Jacoby Brissett has the greatest job in football because he literally is a 4th and 1, 3rd and 1 specialist, and you know exactly what he's going to do, and it still works.
Every time.
He's like Mariano. Like Mariano with the cutter. I mean, it's not as deadly, but it's like he's going to throw the cutter, and you're just going to swing and miss.
Yeah, you just fucked it up. Sorry.
All right, so the next game that happened on Saturday, the Los Angeles Rams actually beat the Seattle Seahawks, despite the fact that John Wolford got injured like 4 minutes into the game. Jared Goff came out of the bullpen with a broken thumb that was just repaired 10 days earlier, 12 days earlier. The Rams' defense made Russ Wilson look bad.
Well, Russ Wilson has been looking bad for the few weeks before this. If you see his first 5 games for his last 12 game splits, it's not good.
One of the things that I took away from this game that I actually tweeted was Russ Wilson is sneaky slow as fuck. Where when Aaron Donald and the pressure gets to him, I keep thinking like, oh, Russ Wilson from like 5-10 years ago, you know, when Seattle was winning the Super Bowl or in the Super Bowl, I was like, yeah, he could just break through the pocket and run and pick up 12 yards like it's no problem. He's just gotten slower with age. He isn't the mobile threat he used to be, which I think when you have like DK Metcalf going straight down the field, you know the defense is playing deep. He's going to have running lanes. He's just not quick enough to get there anymore.
Yeah. I think you should try to pivot away from that a little more and, like, if they're sending DK deep, say, lock it on a short little out route or something like that and try to use that instead of trying to use his feet. But he's definitely, in the last, say, 3 or 4 years, become mainly a pocket passer.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
And he can still do that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say he's completely spent, but he doesn't have the mobility he used to.
Dev, where do you think the Seahawks go from here? Like, what do they change to make a bigger run? I mean, you win 12 games in the regular season, lose at home round 1 of the playoffs.
I think they might have to start like looking at the future. And I know they just signed Russ to a extension like last season or the year before that, but you might have to start considering like, okay, let's prepare for the future for when Russ can't do what we need him to do and get that quarterback in, start grooming him kind of like a Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers scenario down in Green Bay and take it from there. And also that defense needs some help.
Yeah, I think that's their biggest problem. I think their offense, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Russell Wilson, Chris Carson, like their defense is, I mean, their offense is fine, but they just have no defense. And like we saw with Patrick Mahomes' first year. They were putting up 50 points a game, couldn't make it in the playoffs because they had no defense. And what they do, they went and fixed that problem. Next year, Super Bowl champion.
I think honestly their biggest need right now is offensive line. Granted, they're playing Aaron Donald, but he's in the division, so you're going to get him twice a year. You have the Niners, who have Nick Bosa and a great defensive line. So you have 4 games where you know there's going to be heat on Wilson. If I was them and I had the first round pick, I would take a lineman. Oh wait, the Jets have their first pick.
Hey, how'd Jamal Adams work out for you?
You know, Jamal Adams, fun fact, Jamal Adams won as many playoff games as the New York Jets did this year. No, I'm just I still love Jamal Adams. He's a monster, but
Oh yeah, he's a monster when he's up front.
He's an undersized linebacker.
He could not buy an interception right now.
He's too big to be a cover safety, but he's too small to be a linebacker, so he's just a safety that hits people.
And bro, he needs an interception.
The other big thing from the Rams game is that Aaron Donald really didn't play most of the second half. He left injured. And that's going to be something we talk about going forward, but we're going to go through Wildcard Weekend first and then dive into the divisional round, so we will cover that. The last game on Saturday night was the Tampa Brady, the Buccaneers, defeating the Washington football team. For me, at least, the big takeaway was that Taylor Heineke could be the quarterback for this franchise going forward.
Dude, guy balled out. Like, holy shit. He didn't even just, keep them in the game. He didn't even just, do what you would hope at the very least from your practice squad quarterback. And that's what you would hope for. He took that, threw it on his head, fucking balled out, had a absolute game, proven himself as a starter in this league.
When he ran for that touchdown, I was thinking, okay, this isn't a guy who's just okay, he's having a good game, right time, right place. This is a guy who wants to win and can win.
Yeah, he really proved to me with one game. He looked better in that one game than half the starters on some of these teams in the league did all year.
I mean, he did what you're supposed to do when you get the opportunity, and he took it and showed them, hey, listen, keep me, pay me, I'll be your starter, I'll help you win some games.
Do you think it's a bit of an overreaction, though, to actually go out and pay him?
Yes,
oh, no.
Total overreaction.
I mean, I'm pretty sure because he was on their practice squad, he's still on their roster, and he'll be back next year. Dwayne Haskins is gone. Alex Smith is 36 and has a quarter of a leg. I don't see why you wouldn't gamble with Heineke.
Well,
what
who
I would
knows
say, I would say
if-
pay him more money than he's ever had on a longer extension. Pay him if you can get him at a 3-4 year backup salary, and he turns out to be what you think what we've seen he has the potential to be, that could set you up. You just have all that cap space to put players around this guy that has shown these flashes. If you can lock him up now for a cheap rate, like a backup rate, that just sets them up for the future, and the Washington football team is going to be dangerous. Especially with that defense.
Yeah.
And this is a guy going from an XFL backup. How crazy.
Oh, yeah, the XFL.
That's the thing.
I went to an XFL game.
I know,
Really?
we were all supposed to go to that game.
Yeah,
and
I
we
was at
didn't.
the first ever New York Guardians game. And then,
Huh.
right before the pandemic. But Dev, are you scared that if Washington actually has a quarterback to go with Terry McLaurin and Antonio Gibson and that defense, that the Giants might be in second place for a while?
Yeah. I mean, that defense alone, I keep going back to Chase Young because he is a monster. He's a monster amongst men. That whole defensive line that Washington has is scary good. And just knowing that, hey, I got to deal with them twice a year. Defense alone, okay, that's worrisome. But if Heineke is their starter and can stay healthy, oof, My boy's in trouble, man. We're gonna be playing for that wild card for like a couple years.
I mean, Daniel Jones is 4-0 against the Washington football team.
I know, but Washington
Chase Young is getting better.
That's
Washington
scary.
has a championship level defense right now. If they can figure out the offense, even a little more than what they have, defense wins championships, my guy.
But on the flip side, we did see Tom Brady, who is Tom Brady, and Antonio Brown, who's looking like Antonio Brown, made that defense look not championship level, and Antonio Brown tore them up.
Yeah, but you also have to understand he's coming out of the slot with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Yeah, that offense is ridiculous.
I mean, also it's Tom Brady. Like, Tom Brady can cut up most defenses.
Yeah, but it's just there's too much talent on that team to cover everyone. You know what I mean? Even the best defense is going to have trouble, especially now that he's had time to ingratiate himself with AB, and AB has had time to learn the playbook better so they can use him in different spots.
Right. And Dev, while you were gone, Chris and I talked about this at the time that they signed Antonio Brown, was that give him the second half of the season to just learn the offense, to get in his rhythm with Tom Brady, let them figure it out, roommates, potentially landlord, whatever, who knows what's going on there. No white women, sorry, Giselle sleeping outside. That's so fucked up. Giselle owns the house.
God.
Giselle owns the house. They're sleeping in the basement. That offense and Bruce Arians, they got it going. We're gonna talk about them, their path to the Super Bowl coming up, but things are looking good for the Bucs. I just want to finish up Sunday's games on Wildcard Weekend. The Ravens, Lamar Jackson, he got his first playoff win by beating the Tennessee Titans.
Who's had his number for the past 2 years.
They knocked him out last year. The Titans won in Baltimore, stomped on their logo. The Ravens got their revenge, and the Ravens are moving on. The Titans need help on defense.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's been their problem.
Yeah.
I mean, they tried to patch it up with Jadeveon Clowney, and he's
hurt.
not the player that he once was.
Well, he's hurt. He missed, I think, the second half of the season. But you're right.
Yeah,
he still isn't. He was taken first overall, and then 4 picks later was Khalil Mack, and I think everybody would agree that at this point Khalil Mack was the better player.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure. I also think that they could stand to get some more weapons for Tannehill, because as of right now, if you do, like we saw, if you can bottle up Derrick Henry, which you're not if you can bottle up Derrick Henry for one game, that doesn't mean you're going to bottle him up the next time you play him. He's that good. But in the game where you can bottle him up and stop what he's doing and try to make Tannehill beat you, Tannehill has shown he's a capable quarterback. Maybe not top 10 in the league, but he's a solid starter. But they need to give him someone else to have a better outlet to when Derrick Henry can't carry with 200 yards a game.
I agree. I think A.J. Brown's an excellent receiver, excellent number 1.
I agree.
But you need a number 2. You need a slot. Jonnu Smith at the tight end position, he's been good, but I mean he's getting up there. He's sneaky, been around for a while.
He's also injury prone though.
That's very true. The Titans, I think, will be okay. I think next year they'll be back. Like you said, Dev, they just need a little help on the defensive end. And this was just fun because you see Lamar struggled a little bit in the first quarter, had an awful interception. He just threw basically an arm punt, just went straight to Tennessee, and then he just flipped it, and he took over.
Yeah, Lamar heard what people have been saying about him mid-year, heard what I'd been saying about him mid-year. It's just like, do you not remember who I am? And he proved he's back to himself. After he's the only player that after his COVID run has been playing better than before.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I think COVID made him a better player. Because I think he just was like, all right, well, if I can't do anything, I'm just going to sit here, study film, and as soon as I'm better, I'm going to tear the league up.
It's probably Loki gave his body time to rest too, because being a running quarterback, he gets hit more than most players.
And like I said in the beginning of the year, I feel like he was trying to prove that he can be a pocket passer, and I'm not saying he can't, but he used what got him to the dance.
But they need to get receivers, as we keep saying, because Mark Andrews doesn't catch the ball regularly.
No,
Marquise Brown had a great game. But Mark Andrews, who's like the tight end that they go to in like the same idea of a Kelsey or Kittle,
Right.
he's just not consistent.
No, I agree. But, and like, I agree he needs more weapons to help him be able to do the other things. But he's, in the last few games, like I said, he focused on what's brought him to the dance. He's doing the things that make him one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You can make the throws. We, at least smart people, understand that. But just having that dual threat opens your options, and that's when you become elite.
Right. The Ravens move on. Next week they will be in
Buffalo.
That's going to be a Saturday night, 8 o'clock, 8:15 kickoff.
Yeah.
There's always a chance of snow in Buffalo.
And apparently Lamar Jackson has never played in snow.
How do we feel about that? Yeah, it's snow. I pulled up Buffalo's forecast, so it's going to be snowing on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday's just overcast, then back to snowing on Friday. Damn.
Yeah, but did you see this quote come out from Lamar Jackson that he's never played in snow?
Yeah,
Yep.
How is that possible?
I mean, listen, he went to Louisville. Was he from like Florida, I think?
From Louisiana. Do you remember he was the one that he went viral on Vine because he was running to the end zone, stopped on a dime.
Yeah,
The
and
guy
just
went-
walked right in.
Yeah, he was a viral star before we knew who he was. But I mean,
I didn't know that video was him till like this week.
yeah, right. Like it's insane. The snow is going to play a factor because people lose their footing, and when you're a run-first offense, who knows? But we will dive into that game in just a moment. Again, I want to finish up Sunday games. We had the long-awaited, much-talked-about Nickelodeon matchup, the most boring game of the weekend, the Saints and the Bears. The Saints won pretty easily. The Bears really don't have an offense. They had like 3 weeks where David Montgomery went apeshit, and then they fell back to being the Bears.
Well, once again, David Montgomery hasn't had that breakout time. Like last year, he kind of underperformed from what people were billing him as. You know what I mean? Not saying that it wasn't there. It's just his first year in the league, doing all these things, first or second. I think it was first, right?
I'm not sure, but I know I'm just saying, like, this year he had the stretch where he was looking like the top running back in the league. He had a 4-week stretch where he was the number one, at least in fantasy. But then you look and it's like he played the Vikings, who were bad defense, the Lions, a bad defense. This week, in New Orleans against the Saints, a good defense. They put up 3 points, and then at the end, Jimmy Graham with the garbage time touchdown, which was a cool catch, by the way. But
yeah,
they had the trick play that actually worked really well. They throw it deep, and Javon Wims drops the easiest touchdown of his life.
Oh my God!
In the playoffs on Nickelodeon, there are kids watching, man.
Hey, Trubisky still got that MVP.
MVP. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So we're gonna talk about the Nickelodeon broadcast.
I thought it was great. I
It
thought
was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fantastic. They were explaining the game to try to get the younger generation. Like, look, should it have been a standalone broadcast? No. Is it good that they did the CBS broadcast with the Nickelodeon broadcast? But it was fun. It was something to help get the younger generation involved. And it was done well. It was well thought through.
It was just annoying because you had to choose between the brilliance of listening to Tony Romo, who's, is it a catch? Is it? I don't know, Jim. Or watching the Nick broadcast with the slime and SpongeBob and I don't know. Did you really know that? Did you want to know Drew Brees' favorite emoji?
Hey, man.
It was cool.
I mean, it's cool that we have that information, but like Chris said, I thought it was fun. The fact that they were explaining it, and I'm thinking, oh damn, this would have made my life a little bit easier growing up instead of just playing Madden and being like, all right, what the fuck did I fuck up on? Who's going to help me?
No, yeah, it was, like I said, it was fun. I had to switch off of it when the Nickelodeon representative, I forget her name. I don't know. I don't have kids. I'm not a child anymore. I don't know the current Nick lineup, but one of their stars was commentating along with it when she started doing the Cardi B impressions. I think Cardi B impressions just in general are the most cringeworthy thing. It's nothing against her. She did a great job on the broadcast. I really think so. But once that started happening, I had to switch over because, I don't know, Cardi B impersonations to me are just very cringeworthy.
Well, speaking of the broadcast, we got to do a huge shout out to Noah Eagle, son of Ian Eagle, because he has the same exact voice. My girlfriend, obviously, I watch a lot of sports, so she comes in and she hangs out with me, and she literally said, like, I feel like it's the same guy doing every game. Well, that's Ian Eagle because he does the Nets. He does national football games for CBS. He does the NBA broadcast for NBA Network. He does radio. He does everything. So you turn on Nickelodeon game, it's Ian Eagle's son, Noah Eagle, who has the exact same voice. Fucking awesome.
And then,
It's such a rare skill set to have the perfect voice.
but I will say, the one negative thing I saw on the broadcast, they had another one of the Knicks stars being like the sideline reporter. If you're trying to convince kids this is a cool thing, maybe when you're giving out the MVP award, learn how to say the guy's name. I mean, hey, I like Mitch Trubisky too, but, if you want to prove to kids that this is something they should know about, you should probably, know about it.
The one thing also that
Again, the kid did a great job of
the one thing from the broadcast standpoint that I did not like was having SpongeBob in between the goalposts on a field goal. Just because I feel like, that makes it a little harder to tell if the ball goes in or not.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what the refs are for, though.
Okay, you got
but-
me there.
But again, it's geared to children. It's just another thing to throw the character they like into it. I loved the slime zone. Fucking no field goals all night. You're not allowed.
They should
Slime
do-
zone all night.
Slime zone for every touchdown going forward.
Yeah, right? Just let it happen.
Why not? Where do the Bears go from here? Because the Bears finished 8-8. Not gonna have a good draft pick. Not looking great on offense. The defense, I mean, they have the players on defense, but when you're on the field 90% of the game, you get tired.
But do you obviously we saw what we saw from Nick Foles when he tried to come in. We've seen them have these struggles. Do you think Mitch Trubisky might be at least partially kind of in the same Sam Darnold situation? And it's just coming to light now as you see other quarterbacks try to get into his job and do way worse than him.
To an extent, because they don't have an offensive line. But Matt Nagy, I think, is a better offensive coach than Gase could ever be.
True.
It's also funny, you bring up Nick Foles, and I meant to say this earlier when we were talking about the Eagles. The Eagles literally have a statue outside of their stadium of Doug Peterson and Nick Foles winning the Super Bowl, the Philly. Here we are, 4 years later, and they're both gone.
I think 3.
Yeah,
God
you're
damn.
right.
No, yeah, it's actually crazy. And that meme has been all over Twitter.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter. We're closing in on 1,000. We might do a little giveaway for the 1,000th follower.
We're getting up there. We make
Hit
moves.
us with your memes. We want to see all of the memes from all of the sports. Just any sports, like Fat James Harden, meme. Kyrie missing in action, meme.
Someone posted a meme on our Harden reaction that was my
Yeah.
favorite meme of all time.
Yes.
It was Mark Henry
Yep.
and John Cena and
Shout
then
out.
KD.
Shout out to Kevin. That was amazing.
I almost fucking cried laughing when I saw that one.
That made my night. I'm not going to lie.
It's so true, though.
Kevin at DuBois22. You rock. All right, let's get to the last game of the Super Wildcard Weekend. Cleveland Browns kicked the shit out of the Steelers.
Holy
Oh, yeah.
fucking hell.
You knew it was going to be trouble when the first play of the game for the Steelers ended up with the Browns touchdown.
Dude,
Wasn't
within
it-
the first 6 minutes, they were down 28-0.
Wasn't
not the first
28
6
nothing at the end of the first?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was
It
was almost there within 6 minutes.
very quickly. I think he had 3 interceptions in the first. Oof.
Yeah, oof. It's right. Whew.
I don't know what the Steelers do now. We'll talk about the Browns in a minute. I'm really happy for we're all happy for Cleveland.
Yeah,
We're gonna
needed that.
get to the second round and talk about all those teams in a second. But Pittsburgh, you have Juju dancing on other teams' logo. Juju talks shit about the Browns before the game.
The Browns is the Browns, all right?
Browns in the second round. Juju
You're
in the
not.
second round.
Hey, Juju, the Browns was the Browns, and they were better than the Steelers.
Look, I think that like with Juju, you gotta possibly sit him down and be like, "Hey, man, listen, no more dancing on logos. Like that's a bad look. No more talking shit about the opponents before the week of, because that's also a bad look. Like,
And then Chase Claypool comes out afterwards and goes, "Oh, well, they're gonna get clapped next week." So what you're saying is you're an even more dog shit team because the team that just beat you can't move on any farther.
right?
If I was ever in the playoffs and I lost in the playoffs, I would want that team to go win the Super Bowl. So at least at the very least, I can say, well, I was the second best team.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it makes me think. We had Antonio Brown a couple years ago have his whole ordeal with the Steelers. Now you got Juju acting out, doing whatever Juju wants, and Claypool's doing whatever he wants on social media. I think Mike Tomlin and the Steelers just gotta confiscate phones at the locker room.
Yeah, like
Just like everybody phone in a bin. We're not doing this shit. Like
Airport security, please put your phone in over here.
but you also have to understand, fucking Ben Roethlisberger's been doing this his whole career. He has a weekly spot on one of their radio stations where he literally always goes in and just shits on everyone. That's what got AB man in the first place.
yeah, but that leads us to the big question of what's Big Ben from here? Is Big Ben come back? Is Big Ben done? Do the Steelers want him back, knowing that he's 40-something? He's 40 years old. He's not a mobile quarterback in a league where you kind of need a mobile quarterback.
I don't know what the Steelers do because, Ben can retire, but why would he leave $41 million on the table?
Well, Ben has come out and said that he wants to come back.
Yeah.
He would like to come back as the Steelers, but he knows that.
Yeah, for $41 million, I'd come back too.
True.
But also, he knows that the Steelers kind of strapped for cash because of the whole revenue not being able to increase and whatnot because of COVID. So the Steelers front office are probably looking like, hey, that's $41 million that we could use elsewhere to help this team out.
But they have to pay him that money. Maybe not all of it. I don't know what his cap hit is if they cut him or whatever. I'm sure it's significant.
I don't know how it works if he retires. If he chooses to retire.
That's what I'm saying. But he's already said he wants to come back. And what is he going to do? You know what? I'll retire for you guys so I don't make $41 million. No.
I could see him taking a little bit of a pay cut.
I don't think so. I mean, they have Juju Smith's going to be a free agent, so you got to try to sign him. Or I think they're going to let Juju walk because they have Claypool, they have James Washington, they have
Deontay Johnson.
Thank you, Deontay Johnson.
And he's been nothing but a distraction this season.
And yeah, I think Juju. I mean, Dev. I think the Giants should go for Juju.
Another slot receiver, though. I mean, Giants already got Sterling Shepard in the slot.
Yeah, but Sterling Shepard's got to be, getting up there. He's been around for a long time, and Juju gives you a nice number one option to go with Darius Slayton.
True, but we all saw what happened, though, when Juju was the number one and everyone focused on him. You know, he had that down year.
Last year. But that was a year where he got hurt. Ben was out the whole year. James Conner was out the whole year. Like, last year was a wash.
I don't think Juju can be elite as a number one, though. I think he had his breakout season because he had Antonio Brown taking eyes off him. Now you have Claypool this year who's had a breakout year. Like, you know what I mean? Washington, who's also had a great year. You had other guys to take eyes off him.
Yeah.
And he was able to come out of the slot and do his thing.
And I think because of, those guys we just mentioned, like I said, I think Steelers let him walk. I don't think it's a bad decision. Steelers, what happened this game was that they had no run game.
Mm-hmm.
So when they were in a 4th and 2 situation at the Browns 39, they got it down to 12 points. It was a 12-point game within 2 scores. 4th and 2, most teams would go for it at this point. You know, we've reached the point in the NFL where teams are just going for it. Steelers know that they have no rush game, no threat of Ben taking it up the middle for 2 yards or a yard if they need to. I think that really straps them on offense.
It's almost like losing Antonio Brown and Lev Bell hurt them a little bit.
Huh.
You'd think so.
Who would have thought that?
It's also crazy that team won 11 games and then completely fell off. Yeah.
But you've been saying for forever, they had a very easy schedule leading up to that. And they squeaked out the couple of the games against the more decent teams, and also they faced the Browns while they were still figuring their shit out.
They faced the Ravens in the COVID game. They went into Dallas after Dalton was out. Wasn't it DiNucci started, and that game was a 5-point game. So I don't know. I really don't know what the Steelers are going to be going forward.
I think they kind of just got on a lucky run at the beginning of the year. Then they went 1-5 or 1-4.
1-5 if you include the playoffs.
Yep.
And since they started 11-0, they've won one game. The Jets have won 2.
Who's the better team? Come on.
Oh yeah.
And they even had an extra game.
And the Jets beat the Browns, so the Jets really beaten 2 of the 8 teams left. So that's something. The Browns also won this game.
They're a playoff team.
The Browns won this game. This is important because Kevin Stefanski tested positive for COVID. Couldn't be with the team. Watched the whole game from his basement. Kevin Stefanski is officially a basement boy. Welcome to our basement at any time.
We'll send you merch in the mail.
Always welcome to come on
First,
the show.
we just gotta, get his address.
I'm gonna take a second to go over the Basement Boy Playoff Bracket Challenge. Sitting at first place is our good friend Cole. Cole, who's called into the show several times, he wants a perfect 6-0. He's got the Bills winning the Super Bowl, so he's looking nice. Uncle Richie's in second place, 5-1. Then he also has the Bills winning the Super Bowl. Myself and R. Wilson on Twitter, our big fan who we've been DMing with, we're both 4-2. He has the Bills. I have the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl.
I don't like this challenge.
Devin is 3-3. He's got the Packers winning the Super Bowl. Nick C is 3-3. Packers winning the Super Bowl. Sam Dunn and Paul C are both 3-3. Paul C has the Bills. Sam Dunn has the Chiefs. Chris, you are 2-4. You have the Packers winning the Super Bowl. And in last place is your father, who is 2-4 and had the Steelers winning the Super Bowl. Safe to say, I don't think he's going to win.
I have a feeling.
Follow us on Twitter. We will be updating after every round. To move into the second round, each correct win is now worth 2 points. In the first round, each win was worth 1 point.
All right, so I'm a little confused on this scoring system myself, actually. So, say I had Tennessee winning. They were supposed to go play the Chiefs or whatever instead of Baltimore in my bracket that I made. If the Chiefs win, because I had the Chiefs winning, does that still count as a win? Okay.
So it's like March Madness.
Okay.
However many teams you have correct in that round is what you get credit for. So the first round was 6 games. So if you had the 6 winners, the 6 correct teams moving on, each game was worth 1 point. So the next round, if you have the correct teams moving on, even if, like you said, you have the Titans going forward, but the Chiefs beating the Titans. As long as you have the Chiefs going forward, you get the Chiefs.
All right, so I'm still in this. I still got a shot.
The second round, every correct team in the second round is worth 2 points. Conference championship, you get the right teams in the conference championship game. Those are 3 points for the winner. And if you get the correct Super Bowl winner, that's 4 points. So basically, if you get the correct Super Bowl winner, which as of right now, everybody but your dad has their Super Bowl team alive, it's anybody's game.
Anybody's game. Sorry, Pops.
Second round, AFC Divisional game, we have the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens in Buffalo. Should be a fun Saturday night game.
Should be real fun.
I think Buffalo runs away with that. I think they're just way too hot. Way too hot. And I'm calling for as a whole, I think they have a better team.
I'm calling for the snow to be the X factor and basically take away the running game of the Ravens, and I'm going with Buffalo.
I actually think the opposite. I think the snow would force them to focus on the running game over the passing game.
Right, but I think that also kind of tips the hand. I think that just makes it a lot easier for the Bills to, because like you were saying, when Lamar has the dual threat, it makes him better. When you know that Lamar isn't going to be throwing it deep because of the snow and the winds and receivers slipping, and you know it's going to be just the triple option, which could still work, I think the Bills are just going to be set up. I agree with Devin on this one. I think the snow is going to be the X factor, but looks like we all got the Bills beating the Ravens here.
100%.
Go Buffalo. Go Bills Mafia.
I will say the one concern was that the Bills did struggle tackling Nyheim Hines last week, the Colts running back. So when you have a fast running back like J.K. Dobbins, it could be a little, difficult. If he's breaking tackles, he can make plays. Again, the snow is going to change everything. I'm just excited. It's going to be a really fun game.
But I think you can say the same thing for the Bills at the same time.
Yeah, but I think the Bills are just better equipped for it.
I agree. I'm just saying. I think it's going to be a closer game than people think it's going to be, but I 100% believe the Bills are going to win that.
Right. I predicted Bills 34-27, so I think it's going to be a high-scoring, fun game.
I'm not good at picking scores like that.
Yeah,
Me neither.
All right, we'll just go with the Bills.
I would put the Bills at plus 3.5.
Plus or minus?
Minus. I'm terrible at this. We all know this, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the other AFC game. The Cleveland Browns will be traveling to Kansas City to face the defending champs.
I think the Chiefs should win this game, but I think both these teams are trending in the opposite direction. The Chiefs have been looking a little suspect in the past 2 weeks. I mean, yeah, they get the week to rest up, but sometimes that doesn't help people out. Sometimes it gets them out of their rhythm.
The age-old rest versus rust.
And they've been, obviously they've been winning games. They've been still getting the outcomes they want. But you've seen a couple more problems for them in the past few weeks where the Browns have just been trending straight up. Baker's been looking great. Jarvis Landry's been going off. We know what Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt can do. I think the Chiefs will win this game, and I think they should win this game. But if there's gonna be a big upset in this playoff round, I think it'd be the Browns.
Wow. So who are you taking?
I'm taking the Chiefs.
Okay.
But I'm saying don't be surprised if there's
right.
an upset on this one.
So you think the Chiefs in a close squeaker?
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a lot closer than people. I put the Chiefs.
I mean, the Browns are 9-point underdogs right now.
I'd put them at plus or -3, the Chiefs.
So you would take the Browns. You're picking the spread.
Yeah.
All right, Dev, what do you think?
Like
Just pick the winner. You don't have to pick the spread.
Yeah. No, I was going to say like Chris, I feel like this game is going to be sneaky close and it could go either way. It's kind of a revenge game for Kareem Hunt, who, after his little incident.
Good point.
He's playing against his old team and he's been hyped. Like Nick Chubb has come out and said, Kareem's been talking about this from the beginning. Like he knew it was going to happen. And yeah, because of that, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Browns are going to pull the upset. They just been, like Chris said, they're trending upwards. They're hot. They're going to get the coach back. They're getting players back. And I feel like Kareem Hunt's going to have a big game, so I'll pick the Browns.
See, I don't like that narrative of this is Kareem Hunt's revenge game. You have nothing to take revenge on, my guy. You were the one who fucked up.
Right, but it's still
I get it. It's your old team, and I understand wanting to do good against your old team, but the fact that he's trying to hold this much of a grudge for getting cut because you fucking beat a woman,
Fair.
Suck my dick.
It's a different
I don't respect your blah 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 blah. You have no reason to hold a grudge. You fucked up. Deal with it. You're in a good situation now. Just be thankful.
Absolutely agree. My pick for this game is pretty much the opposite of both of what you said. I think the Chiefs are going to kick the shit out of the Browns. And I'm sorry, it's dog pound. Look, I love what you guys have been doing. I'm proud. I'm happy to say that, in 2021, the Browns and the Bills both make it to the second round of the playoffs. That's something that's pretty cool. It doesn't happen a lot.
It hasn't happened that hasn't happened ever.
Right.
But neither of these teams have won a playoff game in the last, at the very least, 15 years?
20.
The 25 for the Bills, so Yeah. The Chiefs are the Chiefs, man. Andy Reid knows what he's doing. Patrick Mahomes is not going to be Ben Roethlisberger getting, snaps over his head. Sure, that weird things like that happen, but he's not going to be throwing 3 interceptions in the first half.
I agree.
You got Tyreek Hill, you got Travis Kelce, and as great as the Browns defense has been, they still did let the Steelers, score 3 touchdowns, get back in that game. You're not going to be able to keep the Chiefs off the board. And I think the way that, yes, Baker's been playing great, the Browns offense has been playing great, especially in the run game. I just think the Chiefs, with all the extra time to prepare, with all the extra rest, the Honey Badger, I don't see anybody coming for the crown.
I get what you're saying, but I think people are looking at, the Steelers coming back. I think when you grow up 4 touchdowns in the first quarter, you switch to a bend not break mentality over stop mentality. You're trying to waste time. You don't need to play as hard because you already have this giant lead. And when they needed to score to keep that going, they did.
Ready? Take what you just said and think about the Chiefs for the last couple weeks of the season. Of once they got the AFC locked up, they knew that they could just kind of squeak out wins against the Falcons. They didn't have to play hard. They clearly they rested their starters week 16, week 17.
Right.
I think the Chiefs are so focused.
Week 17, I don't count.
Right, but the week before that, they barely won against the Falcons, and to your point, I think once they knew that they had the AFC locked up, it was more of just all right, we'll win the game. We don't gotta go all out.
I get what you're saying, but I also think the games have, at least in the last few weeks, have been just sloppier. It's not
fair.
even just not trying as hard. It's just more mistakes.
That's fair. I still think
that's what worries me. I still think they're gonna win this game, but I'm saying that's the
in
thing that
Kansas
worries
City.
me. Yeah, in Arrowhead, like I said, I think it worries me, even though I still think the Chiefs are gonna win the game. I think the Chiefs are the more talented team.
I still think the Chiefs are gonna win the Super Bowl. Do you guys don't? Do you guys think the Bills? Dev, you think the Packers? Do you think the Packers? You guys both think the Packers?
Yeah, I have the Packers.
Go Pack, go.
We're going to see the Los Angeles Rams leave the sunshine of Los Angeles and go into the frozen tundra
Wisconsin.
in Green Bay.
Frozen tundra.
It's a big game for Aaron. You got Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Donald, Aaron Jones. Maybe Aaron Judge makes an appearance.
So if your name is Aaron, congratulations, you just won.
Yeah, but Aaron Donald is hurt. If he does play, we don't know if he's going to be 100%. We don't know here or there. And Aaron Rodgers, his season, obviously, he won the MVP. But it's crazy what this guy's doing, especially at this age. Because you have to remember, he's only a year younger than Ben.
Right.
And look how he looks compared to Ben.
Yeah, definitely. Ben's also very heavy.
But he's been that
Just
guy.
Putting that out there, that Ben's a big boy.
He's been that guy kind of his whole career. So that,
He has, and Aaron Rodgers hasn't been. So
his weight doesn't really bother me, per se. But just the capabilities of what he's doing. I think probably having that body style hasn't helped him keep his body in shape and might have led to some of this deterioration that we've been seeing. Don't get me wrong.
No, I think part of it's just the way that they play has always been a pass first thing. So Ben's probably had more wear and tear, where if Rodgers can rely on his rush game when he's winning.
I agree, but I also think a big part of that is just Ben has always been willing to take the big hits to get the ball off.
Right.
And I think that wears on you too.
Absolutely does. But speaking of this game, I'm so excited to see Jalen Ramsey on Devontae Adams. You have two of the best at their positions. The Packers have really been a three-headed monster of Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Aaron Jones carrying the ball. If you have Aaron Donald, who, like you said, is not 100%, Sean McVay says the Terminator is ready to go, and he's been posting Instagrams where he just looks inhumanely muscular and just ready to go. Aaron Donald's going to plug up the run game. If Jalen Ramsey on Devontae Adams, if he can at least partially neutralize him like he has been with DK Metcalf, we're going to either see the Rams really, clamp down on the Packers offense, or Aaron Rodgers is going to have one of his best performances and turn Alan Lazard into an all-star looking, Robert Tunyon's going to have 3-touchdown kind of game.
I also think Devontae Adams matches up better with Jalen Ramsey because he's a much better route runner than DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf's fast, and he's a big guy, and he can just out-muscle people and outspeed people, where Devontae Adams is fast. He can do all these things, but he's also a much better route runner than DK. So I think that is going to give Jalen Ramsey a lot more money, like a lot more trouble for his money or whatever the fucking saying is. But I think, not saying that Jalen Ramsey can't contain Devontae Adams, but I think it's going to be a much better matchup than like a DK per se.
Dev, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, it's going to be a close game. If I had to pick right now, I'm going with the Packers. I trust Aaron Rodgers more than I trust Jared Goff or John however you pronounce his last name.
Do we know what happened with his neck? Is he even
Wolford.
available?
I think he's out. I mean, I think
he's out of the hospital, so that's good.
And I think he could play. Supposedly, McVay has told the team who's the starter, but won't tell the rest of the world.
That's a very Sean McVay thing to do.
Well, Wolford was back in the stadium by the end of the game.
Yeah.
He went, got his whole neck checked out, and then went right back and watched the rest of the game. So he was good.
So I'm assuming he's good to play, but we don't know who's playing. I mean, Jared Goff, he's coming off the thumb surgery.
So either way, you're looking at a banged-up quarterback in the frozen tundra.
Yeah. That's just not going to end well. Let's just be honest with ourselves.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a very close game. I think the Packers are going to win this, if I had to predict the score, I would say, I wrote 2016, but I'm thinking about it now. I think it's going to be 28-13. I just don't think the Rams are going to be able to keep up.
Yeah.
And
I think
the Rams
scoring-wise, they're not going to be able to keep up.
Right.
And I feel like the Rams are just also banged up right now. You got Cooper Kupp. Who knows if he's going to play?
Well, they said he's going to play, but he hasn't practiced for the last week.
Right. You got Cam Akers. I think he's healthy, but no one else behind him to back him up. So if he gets hurt, you're in trouble. And then an injured quarterback. It's a tough day for the Rams. I'm going with Packers.
Yeah, Packers all day. And then finally, in the battle of the old white guys, we got the Buccaneers versus the Saints. Drew Brees versus Tom Brady. The battle of the 40-year-olds.
This game's going to be on the History Channel.
For real.
Brady tweeted that out.
That was one of my favorite pictures of all time. I
hate that.
I'm just happy that they're rolling with it. You know what I mean?
That Brady's so good at social media. But
like I said, second he took off that Patriots hat, I'm finally able to enjoy him for a year, and I love it.
There we go. It's the NFC South matchup we've all been waiting for. Two teams played twice this year. Week 1, the Saints beat them in a pretty nice game. And then they met on that, the primetime game, and the Saints kicked the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But this is a different team. You have Antonio Brown, like we said, playing like the Antonio Brown of his prime.
And finally actually being able to work into this scheme, learning the scheme, figuring out where he fits in everything. And Chris, one of them, I forget which, was in and out his first couple games. You know what I mean?
Godwin battled injuries in the beginning of the year, Mike Evans towards the end of the year. So, yeah, they haven't all been healthy at the same time.
So now having all three of them on the field, still have Gronk, still have
Fournette, Ronald Johnson,
Scotty Miller,
Jones.
Scotty doesn't know.
And then Fournette had a fucking game.
Fournette had a great game.
So everyone seems to be firing on all cylinders. Defense, maybe not like they were in the beginning of the year, but offensively, they're ready to put up some fucking points.
Yeah. The Saints have a good defense. Marshawn Lattimore can only cover one guy. The Saints have a good pass rush, and we know that's the key to getting to Brady. But we just saw last week the Washington football team has a great pass rush, and Brady didn't seem fazed by it.
And Fournette took all the pressure off when he needed.
Yeah, it was a great check down to Fournette. People forget that he was actually a really, really good player when he was with LSU, and then he got lost in Jacksonville because Jacksonville.
No, but he made Jacksonville relevant for 2 years.
Got him to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, that was a team led by the defense, but yeah, he was Pro Bowler.
I know, but he was their offense.
You're right. Spot on. Who you guys like in this game?
I'm going Bucks.
Really?
I
Do you
think.
think Drew Brees is noodle arm?
I don't think he's noodle arm, but I think his body wears down on him as the season goes on. I think Mike Thomas hasn't looked like Mike Thomas all year. I know he's been battling things. He had a good game the other week, but that was against the Bears. It's kind of a little different. They're not going to be playing up the whole time like they were against the Bears. They're going to have to try to make some plays. And I think Brees is banged up. Every year going into around this time, Brees gets banged up. It just is what it is. He's an older guy.
I mean, he also broke 55 ribs this week.
Exactly.
Something like that.
It started at 8, and then there's 11. I just kept climbing. Who do you like in this one, Dev?
I'm taking Saints. I feel like Marshawn Lattimore has always had Mike Evans' number, and the Saints defense has always been. I mean, they've been pretty solid this season. They have a great pass rush, and then you have Kamara, who is just a beast and is looking out hey, don't forget about running backs, and Michael Thomas is back. So I think the Saints are going to take it.
Yeah. But I expect a huge game from AB.
It's going to be hard to beat the same team 3 times in one season. I don't know how many times. I mean, it's never been done to Tom Brady. I don't know. For me, I'm going with Devin on this one. I think the Saints, partially being at home, partially now that, like you said, they're healthy. You have Michael Thomas and Drew Brees not injured. They're playing together. Emmanuel Sanders had a good game against the Bears. Something about Sean Payton in the playoffs at home. I just trust him more than I trust Bruce Arians. So I would pick the Saints. But if I had to say there would be an upset this weekend, I think this is the most likely upset.
I really think Tampa Bay all day. I expect a huge game from AB.
Sprinkle someone on the money line.
I might do that.
Might have to. So follow us on Twitter. We'll be reacting to the games as they happen. Follow us on Instagram and social medias, Facebook, all of them.
We got stuff. All right.
We got some
Follow
stuff.
that stuff. Yeah, I think that's it.
You're gonna do the dumbass of the week?
Oh yeah. So our dumbass of the week. It's gonna be a new segment. Chris's dumbass of the week. We're starting off hot on this one. The first ever UFC welterweight champion, Pat Miletich, is throwing himself a little pity party. A little pity party because he decided to join a riot and break in to a federal building, the Capitol building.
Heard of that one.
Pretty important one.
And trash the place, and now he's throwing himself a pity party because, committing federal felonies might get you fired from your job. He got fired as the announcer for LFA, and quite frankly, he deserved it.
What was the swimmer's name that was there too?
I don't know.
Something
I heard
with a
about
K.
it, but I guess he won one gold medal by himself, but then he just kind of hung on Michael Phelps.
Yeah,
And that's where he got his other 2.
I think we all would hang on to Michael Phelps if we could.
Hell
True.
yeah.
But you're not allowed to throw yourself a pity party for something you caused because you don't like the result of an election.
That goes back to what you were saying about Kareem Hunt. You can't
Yeah.
have a revenge narrative if you're the one who did it.
Yeah, it's your fault. You did this to yourself. Don't throw yourself a pity party. You are my dumbass of the week, Pat Miletich.
Damn, Pat.
Fucking dumbass.
It's not only even that. He was pictured with members of the Proud Boys, a terrorist organization, and a member throwing up the white power signal. What are you doing here? These are not things you can do. Okay, I'm done. Had to get that off my chest. Now, we'll bring you into our another new segment. Devin,
Yo.
you ready to do that hockey?
Let's do that hockey.
I love this.
All right. Well, hockey season kicked off last night, And the Tampa Bay Lightning, reigning Stanley Cup champions, raised their banner against the Chicago Blackhawks. And they did what, let's be real, we all knew was going to happen. They whooped the Blackhawks' ass 5-1. No shocker there. Sorry to the Blackhawks for, coming out and playing the Lightning first. But, hey, that's what happens when you play the Stanley Cup champions. And tonight we got the Rangers taking on the new fucking Islanders. Should be a fun matchup. I'm excited, as y'all can tell. Got the Rangers mask on.
The Battle of New York.
Yeah, one of the battles. And
we had the Knicks and Nets last night too.
Yeah. So New York is just off and popping, man. A lot of chirping going back and forth. Should be a fun season. Look out for Mika Zibanejad to take the next step and eventually get to see, because we all know that he's next in line. And you got a couple of rookies out there. Keandre Miller on defense, coming out of the University of Wisconsin, I believe.
Sounds about right.
Wisconsin.
Sounds like hockey.
Yeah, Wisconsin and Minnesota. He's looking to make an impression. And also the number 1 overall pick, Alexi Laffery, who we're just going to call Laffy. He's going to get started tonight, and excited to see his career and where it takes it.
I have a question.
Yo.
Can I call him Laffy Taffy?
Yes, you can.
Deal.
And when he scores, we can all sing, shake that Laffy Taffy or something.
Follow-up question. What position does he play? You said it, but I forgot it.
Laffy?
Yeah.
Left wing.
Deal.
Yeah, it's weird to think that Mika Zibanejad's been in the league and on this team for as long as he has.
Yeah.
He still seems newer to me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the best part is that, he's only 27, maybe 28. He's still young. And
yeah, he still definitely has some time on him.
And when he's not, scoring goals and helping out the team, he's also making hot beats and dropping singles.
No, he's not.
Yo, he's a DJ.
I didn't even hear this.
Oh, he's been a DJ for years. I got a couple of his tracks, and they're pretty good.
I gotta check this out when we finish recording right now.
Yeah, throw him in the mix. Dev, as a casual, not real deep into hockey fan, who are the teams to keep an eye on? Who you think is going to win the East, West, North? I don't know what the divisions are anymore because they switched them up because of COVID protocol and everything.
No one knows what they are.
Who you think is going to be in the Stanley Cup Finals if you had to predict?
Oh, man. Killing me right now. But out of the East, you got to go with the Tampa Bay Lightning. They're reigning champs. They're looking good. And they took out on the way to the Cup, they looked like they wanted it more. They took the Islanders to 6 games. They went into a double overtime game against the Blue Jackets, or maybe even triple overtime, quadruple overtime. I don't know. It was a crazy ass game. Lasted good 3, 4, 5 hours extra after the fact. So I would go Tampa Bay in the East, and then the West. Look at the Avalanche to make some moves. Look at them they got a good team. They're led by Nathan McKinnon. And they've re-upped their team, and I can see them taking it all the way.
So keep an eye out for those teams.
Yeah.
Let's do that hockey.
Let's do that hockey.
Let's do that hockey.
All right. So that is our little bit of hockey preview. Once we get into it, we'll keep an eye on hockey a little more and be able to talk about it. But me and Eric are much more casual hockey fans than Devin is. Let's just let that lie where that lies.
Well, once the season gets going, there'll be more things to talk about.
Oh yeah. So I think that's it for today, boys.
Yeah.
We had this is a long one. This is a doozy.
Yep.
Got a lot to talk about.
A lot to cover. We were talking about it before the show. Me and Devin, when we first started this in the sports break, we were praying for weeks like this. And, oh man, it's so nice to finally be there. Everything's going on. We have so much to talk about, and it's just great. But I think that's it for today, boys. So, we are the Basement Boys. I'm Chris Gray, Eric Mincer, Devin Mitchell. See ya.
Deuces.
Stay positive and test negative.
Welcome to the basement.